Welcome to the Moon Woman podcast, making sense of the mystery of life. I'm your host, Tanishka, and this is the June Ascension update. Hi, so today love is in the air. Yes, it's a very auspicious day. We have Venus and Jupiter at their peak conjunction today. Now, Venus, of course, is the goddess Aphrodite, Freya to the Norse, but she is the planet of love. So Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and it will expand love today because that's what Jupiter does. It's a benefic, well, they're both benefic planets, so they usher in benevolence, and Jupiter expands good fortune. It creates opportunity. So today, it is a day for love. It is a day for making incredible social connections, love connections. And it's a day to appreciate the beauty that's all around us, because it's easy to get lost in, what's not right with the world. But if we look around and change the aperture ring of our gaze, we can see that beauty is all around us, love is all around us. So that's what this conjunction of Jupiter and Venus is helping us to do today on June 9. It is an auspicious time to meet a new partner, particularly if you're in a synodic Venus return. What is that? Well, every 8 years, Venus completes what's called a mystical rose, so a 5-petaled star in the cosmos. So this is why we celebrate Sweet 16. Every 8 years, she completes one of these flowers, and this is a time when we are initiated deeper into the feminine mysteries, deeper into our lessons with the divine feminine, the goddess. And so this is, for instance, at 32, that's when I became a mother, or you might meet your life partner in a Venus return. So, yeah, if you're in a Venus return, you'll be feeling this Venus-Jupiter conjunction even more today. But the question for us is, what relationships are we invested in growing? Because nothing grows things like love. Yeah, if we pour our heart into something, it will, create dividends. So, yeah, make choices that reflect self-love, and today's highlight where we're not doing that, or where we need to commit to doing what it is we truly love, that which nourishes our soul. So we have the sun in Cancer. So we have Venus and Jupiter and the sun in Cancer. So this is also shining a light on the love that we get from community. Yeah. So, that grail cup, that chalice in our heart, if we're not filling that with brotherly love, sisterly love, self-love, devotional love, we have this empty cup that we look for one person to fill. Okay, and then we end up in love addiction. I speak about that in my latest book, The Grail, which you can find on my website, themoonwoman.com. So we need to fill our cup with community, okay, with the love of elders, of children, of neighbours, of shopkeepers that we speak to. And digitalization has seen, community really impacted. So this is shining a light on the need to create meaningful connections with those that we share our region of residence with. Now, on June the 12th, we have Mercury joining the stellium of Venus, Jupiter, the Sun in Cancer, the sign of community. So this is going to bring a lovely softness, a depth, emotional connection to our communications. And on June the 16th through the 17th, we're going to see these planets literally align when the stars align, yeah? So we're going to see the crescent moon joining Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury. You'll be able to see this celestial lineup of 4 planetary spheres after sunset between June 16 and 17. And on June 17, the moon is going to be conjunct Venus. So, this whole window now from June 9 to June 17, this is a time where love is exalted. So look around, count your blessings, be grateful for the love that you have in your life. Express that to your loved ones, to your family, to your friends. And also in your own gaze, when you look at yourself, don't scrutinize yourself with criticism, but rather appreciate your unique features, your unique curves, your unique silhouette. Yeah, exalt, be benefic towards yourself and celebrate your lovability. Now, also in the mix is the asteroid Hygeia. So Hygeia is currently conjunct both Venus and Mercury. Hygeia is one of the asteroid goddesses, and her symbol is the caduceus, the twin serpents on that central pillar of light known as Sushumna in the Tantric yogic tradition. So this is the staff of healing, because healing is wholeness, creating that inner marriage of opposites. And right now, during Armageddon, the polarization of opposites, this is what we need more than anything. So if you want to know more teachings and practices and how to create that inner marriage, sacred union within, you can check out my book, Creating Sacred Union Within, which is on my website, themoonwoman.com, and also the meditations, Sacred Union meditations to meet and marry the God and Goddess at the 7 gates, known as the 7 chakras. And this is the foundation for a conscious union, or the alchemical union, the couple that comes together in world service, to assist each other to become, the master 22 beings that we are here to embody, the holy couple. So this is ushering in that it's time for the stars to align, for the beloveds to come together, and for a higher love, not the old codependency where people come together out of mutual need, blaming their exes and looking for the next person to latch onto like a mollusk, out of, base desires, this need to feel complete or a need for validation. Do you find me beautiful and lovable? This higher octave of love is, people that are not afraid to be on their own, might have been on their own for some time, and in doing that have had the space to find all the aspects, to become whole unto themselves, sovereign, and then, having done the preparation, they are ready to meet in divine timing that divine complement, the one who will inspire them to become even more magnificent. So this is really going to bring out heart communion at the moment, understanding who we're in heart coherence with and who we're not. Those that you aren't, you're going to feel drained, if you find yourself spending time with someone and they're just talking at you, this is shadow cancer, those that aren't doing the work of processing their own psyche, their own emotional body. They project mother onto other people, and as soon as they've got someone cornered, it's like they just talk at you and drain you. So, we're wanting to acknowledge those that we are in reciprocity with, where there's a natural ebb and flow to the conversation, and we feel expanded, we feel uplifted when we leave their company. We don't feel sucked dry and drained. So this is shining a light on how we do community. We are at a precipice as a species where we are stepping into a new paradigm of conscious community. So we've moved away from, the shackles of the clan that says, if you don't do it my way, we'll excommunicate you or make you suffer, to then the second phase, which is being highly individuated, and it's me, everybody living alone and watching Netflix every night, to coming back to true communion, but made up of people who know who they are. Okay, so they're not defined by the group identity. They've found their own singular identity. So now they can come together and commit, knowing they're not going to lose themselves. Okay, so interdependence. Now, we also have Chiron. So Chiron, you've heard me speak of Chiron before. Chiron he's known as the wounded healer. I prefer the spiritual teacher. He's a centaur, he's a horse. So interesting, in Year of the Fire Horse, Chiron is finally moving out of Aries, where it has been for 7 years. Those of us that have our natal Chiron in Aries, this is like the light at the end of the tunnel. Finally, we're going to come out of our Chiron return, which is, when Chiron returns to where it was when we were born around age 49. And it brings up for us the biggest wound that we've come here to heal this lifetime. That's what Chiron does. It drops us into that which we need to heal. So it's, not about becoming perfect. The journey of ascension is not about becoming perfect. It's about healing and empowerment. And every planetary transit initiates us to see another part of ourselves, to become more whole, to heal the parts that we're unaware of or ashamed of or judge. So this is going to happen on June 19, so right before the solstice. Chiron is going to move into Taurus. So what's that going to do for us? Well, it is going to facilitate perhaps a showdown with our bodies, where we need to understand our bodies rather than just see our bodies as a machine that serves the mind. We're going to stop imposing ideologies of right and wrong on the body and actually listen to the body. When I eat this, how do I feel? So, or when I, do this, what's the impact on my body? So this is about us bowing to the body, and the body is ultimately what matures us. Now, the body is a fractal of the earth. So we are going to see in the next 7 years a huge healing, not just with our own bodies, but with the Earth Mother and with the feminine, the embodied feminine, not the distorted feminine, the Botox and but that which is the true feminine, that which is in an immersion with nature and the cosmos, living in alignment with the cycles, living a natural, authentic life, not this artificial, synthetic, false narrative that we've been told is that, the bee's knees. In fact, I was woken up at dawn yesterday morning with the message that if we haven't found the light within, we will be attracted like a moth to the flame, to the artificial light. So too, if, we haven't found love within, we're desperately searching for love. And if we haven't found the guru within, the part of us, the witness that brings the unconscious to the light of consciousness. In other words, if we haven't found the teacher within, we are at risk of becoming enamored of the false teacher, one who purports to know everything and dismisses our intuition, which is very dangerous. Now, we had Uranus, the planet that is ruling over this new cosmological Aquarian age, move into Gemini. I think it was April 25, late April. So this 7-year cycle is when we're really going to see AI and technology just ramp up. which we're already seeing just a month in. I was at a dinner for a friend's birthday last night, and they said that Elon Musk is set to become the world's first trillionaire. Gotta laugh. But the point is, Chiron is going to show us where we have injured values, because Taurus governs our values. How do we know what we value? It's what we spend time doing. We might think we value family, but never see them, never spend time with them. So our values are where we invest our time, energy, effort, and attention, right? Now, our values have become very distorted as a collective. So this is going to bring us back to what is true abundance. So we're really going to question the money paradigm. Yeah, money ultimately is a measurement. It actually holds no intrinsic value. It was introduced to measure how much of a resource that you have. But in and of itself, it's worthless. So this is about us getting back to what has real value. Food, health, yeah? The things that we actually need for life to prevail. Water, yeah? Shelter, freedom of choice. So, this is likely to evoke fears around food security. We're seeing, due to the attack on Iran back in February, the supply chain has been severely interrupted. And, I spoke about this in my March equinox online event, the Four Horsemen. And just on that, the next one is coming up for the June solstice. So if you want to join me live online to hear how we're being initiated at this second threshold, this second quadrant, because the equinoxes and the solstices, these are the points of the cross. So long before the Romans invented this idea of, marking the cross on your body, which is a distortion based on, a crucifix, an instrument of torture, the fixed cross related to the ecliptic of the sun. And the equinoxes and solstices are when we are tested, when the hero within all of us is tested to step up or to shrink back. This is our make or break moment. These threshold points determine whether we're going to move forwards and step up and spiral and grow into the next quadrant to complete our hero's journey and go full circle, or whether we're going to choke, whether we're going to not be able to progress due to our inner saboteur. So if you want to join me for that event, I'll put the link in the description. So Chiron, even though it is going to move into Taurus on June 19, it will go retrograde from September this year through to April next year, 2027. So if you're starting to think, I'm going to have a party to celebrate at the end of my Chiron return, maybe it's a premature party. Wait till April. Do a save the date for April next year. But April 14 is when it's going to move into Taurus, till May 5th, 2034. So that's quite a huge amount of time. But this is also going to bring up our self-worth. Okay, it's going to shine a light on the fact that our consumer culture is driven, it's underpinned by low self-worth, people feeling they're not enough. They don't know that who they are is their true value, so they're trying to acquire more and more, hoard. And the more we do that, the more we're choking the planet with, things that we're throwing away. So this is about us really confronting our low self-worth and paring back, living more simply. Yeah, realizing that actually the less we have, the happier we are. And I'm not touting the Agenda 30, by 2030 you'll have nothing and be happy. Yeah, that's a distortion. That's a manipulation of this transit. But this is about us getting back to living more simply, and realizing what we need is communion with the elements of the earth and connection and communion with each other for us to be happy, not a lot of stuff. Okay. As I said, this is also going to heal our relationship with the feminine. So we're going to see the feminine really coming through in the next 7 years. We're going to see Tantra, a renaissance in how we view sensuality. Okay, sensuality is healing. Yeah, we extract soma, the essence of pleasure from tactile, touch, loving touch, or through looking upon beauty or hearing sound that is, uplifting. Yeah, it's been distorted into something dirty, and we're going to get back to our need for pleasure, that is not, at the cost of anybody, but rather, it's about communion and extracting pleasure through the senses. So yeah, we're going to see Tantra really stepping up. Now, the other big news is we're building up to a trine between Uranus and Pluto. So this is going to be exact July 18. So we're feeling, because they're slow moving outer planets, we're already feeling the impact of that now. Uranus is known as the Great Awakener, the planet of sudden miracles, divine intervention. Think the apocalypsis, which is what that means. Kundalini awakening, so, epiphanies, the awakening of the force in the collective. Okay, now Pluto is, it was demoted to a planetoid because it's small, but it is potent. It's concentrated power, and it blows things apart. Yeah, that which has had its day is going to be obliterated. Okay, it's nuclear. So we are seeing in this coming together, we're going to break free from covert abuses of power that are corrosive to the structure of our lives. This is likely to usher in transformative events, solar flares, earth changes, as well as politically and economically on the world stage. We can see already the stock exchange is really, things are going to crash. It's going to be in this, coming window that we're going to see, the breaking down of the old power structures. So the exact date is July 18, but it's also going to be exact on November 29, then again June 15, 2027, January 13, 2028, and May 9, 2028. So it's here for quite a big arc, but those are the exact dates when we're going to see things really blow up. We also have at the same time Uranus forming a sextile, another harmonious sort of ally angle to Neptune. So this is something we haven't seen since the late 70s, and it won't happen again for another 300 years. But it's like a spiritual epiphany and a spiritual awakening. So, and us sort of being shocked out of our unconscious dream state, walking around in a state of just overwhelm and blind trust in authority. June 21st, we have the solstice. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, this is the longest day, summer solstice, and the most extreme yang, masculine, outward energy. For those in the southern hemisphere, this is the winter solstice, the most contracted, the most deeply internal, feminine, darkest time of the wheel. And it was the time when men in particular needed support to not take their lives. And, I was told there was a legislation change to negative gearing in Australia, which has already seen people who have lost their fortune, so to speak, saying on social media that they've got nothing to live for. So, you know, if you're aware of people that are on that precipice, reach out, particularly in the Southern Hemisphere. Finally, the big news, Jupiter will be entering Leo for the next 12 months on June 29. That's from Western astrology. From Vedic, you know, Indian astrology, it's entering Cancer. But from Western astrology, we're going to see this forming a T-square, challenging that Chiron and Taurus, highlighting food security. So if you're not growing food, this is the good time to start. And this is also going to form a T-square to Pluto in Aquarius, restoring power to the people. So, you know, it's an exciting time. Yes, it's a turbulent time. It's a storm that we have to go through. But the end result is we're going to see the hierarchical power flattened, okay, and wealth redistributed. And on that same day, Mercury will go retrograde in Cancer for 3 weeks. So, you know, there could be miscommunications with family or community. So, you know, be very thorough if you're signing contracts, and in all your decisions and communications, they may need to be revised over July. So that's everything. Wishing you a wonderful June. And stay connected with your feelings. That's what Cancer transits ask us to do, so that we can better acknowledge what we need and take full responsibility for meeting our own needs as the inner mother. So thanks for watching. You have my blessing to share this video, and I'll see you next month.